If you need any My Team grinds in any mode, hit up my boy Witty for safe, reliable, and the cheapest grinding services around. Hit him up on Twitter. You won't be disappointed. Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be going through and ranking the best pink diamond cards in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM here on this tier list. I got 45 of the best pink diamonds in my team to rank today, and a few of these guys are on here for name recognition, but most of them are good cards, and that means that this list is probably going to be a little bit skewed toward the top or a little bit strict on placement. That's what happens when you do best of anything, honestly. Even the lower tier cards have a lot of good cards at this point in the year. Before we hop into it, though, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Now we push towards the 40,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, multiple videos a day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, Jared Solinger, I'm going B tier. Awesome jump shot, not elite as a shot creator. He's fine defensively, but nothing ridiculously special on that end of the court. He's just a elite catch and shoot shooter. He's actually got some decent sigs too, just doesn't have the ball handle for it. But I think B tier is fair. Dikembe, I'm sorry, you're going D tier. Rest in peace, but inside center really can't shoot the ball at all at this point. Is not a card that I personally would recommend. That kind of goes for all the other inside centers as well. I didn't put guys like Shaq on here because it's the same story at this point. So I just thought I'd include one inside center and kind of call it there for all the insides. Glenn Rice, I think Glenn Rice is A tier. I mean, his jumper's money. He's got pretty good stats and batters all the way around. He's solid as a slasher defensively. He's certainly not a liability whatsoever. He's got fine size, 6'8" at small forward. Like, he's a good card. I think he's A tier, and that's fine with me. Dwight Howard, not much of a shooter, only a 73 ball, but his jumper isn't a total atrocity. He is elite defensively, elite as a dunker, and has great speed. Still think I'd go B tier, though, because he is going to struggle a bit as a shooter overall, and he doesn't quite have the size to make up for it, in my opinion. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's also going to go A tier to me. Don't think he's quite S, but he's certainly a very good card. Fun as a shot creator, smooth jump shot, got some decent sigs, good finisher as well. Defensively, he's not a liability by any means, but he's not elite, and his badges could be a little bit better overall, but not a bad card. I'll go A tier with SGA. Also going to go A tier with Rui Hachimura. Has basically every single stat and badge in the game, like 90 plus, and then he's got what, 38 base badges. He's extremely complete. Jumper's on quick now, which helps him. Jumper isn't the best, I will say, but it's good enough. I think A tier for sure for Rui Hachimura. Michael Beasley is an obvious S tier. He is one of the best pink diamond cards in my team. His jumper is incredible. His movement is high level. He's a versatile, solid defender, and he's an elite level slasher as well. Great card, definite S tier. Zach LaVine, I'm also putting S tier. One of the best pink diamond point guards in the game. He's a high level shot creator. He's releases money. He's a great slasher. I think he's a very, very good card. Still holds up to the test of time pretty well as well. Still definitely a viable enough option, and I would put him in the S tier also. Michael Cooper, I'm going A tier. Not much of a shot creator whatsoever, but he's an elite shooter, a high level slasher, and a great defender. He's just not a shot creator, but otherwise he is a very good card, and I do still have no issues whatsoever with him being listed here in the A tier. Matas Buzelis, I'm also actually going to go A tier. 6'10", money jump shot, legitimately a very solid card, and I think A tier is fair. I do. I like Buzelis. I think he's a viable card. We're going to go A tier for Matas at 6'10". Paul George, I think might even have to be S tier still. Nah, there's like two shooting guards I like more than PG, I think, at the S tier. I'm going to put him in A. No, I'm going to put him in S. I think we're just going to have, honestly, a pretty high slanted list. There's going to be a lot of cards in the top couple tiers because there's a lot of good ones. I think Paul George is S tier. He's so good defensively. His jumper is so money, and he's such an elite slasher that kind of like, I mean, he's a bigger Michael Cooper in a lot of ways. I feel like a little bit more complete, has a good escape, although his drag back isn't very good. Neither is his fade, but I still think he's good enough for S tier. And honestly, Bilal Coulibaly also goes S tier. Another S tier shooting guard, another high level, elite level card with a money jump shot, versatile high level defense, and 90 driving dunk. Like, again, really, really solid card. A guy who you're not really missing anything when it comes to him at the shooting guard position. And then Franz Wagner, 6'10", with great movement and a fast release. He's not the best defensive card in the world, but being 6'10" helps make up for it. He's certainly not a liability, and he does have pretty good athletic ability, and the size certainly helps in terms of getting good animations really on both ends of the court, and I think he's S tier as well. Mikal Bridges is going A tier, like Michael Cooper. Really good 3-and-D card, definitely solid. Not much of a shot creator himself really, but he is a good all-around card, and I think A tier is totally fair. And then we have Ron Artest, who's yet another S tier. This is turning into an extremely highly slanted list, but I just feel like unless I start moving some guys down, it's going to be a lot of S tiers, a lot of A tiers, because a lot of these cards are very, very good and deserve to be recognized as such. I don't know. I'm looking at this list. There's still a lot of good cards left. I think I got to start moving cards down a little bit, because it's almost a little bit too lopsided right now towards the top. Rui's jumper is going to get him moved down. Dwight's lack of shooting, I'm gonna move him down a little bit. I think we'll be like this. I'm fine with these guys in S tier though. I feel like they all have to be there. Artest, high level defender, money jump shot, great fade. and he's athletic. Like, really good card. Again, can be used at a high level, and so is Strother. Strother has a very nice escape and Darius Garland dribble style, as well as a very good release, and he's not a liability defensively either. I mean, there's so many good shooting guards, but I feel like they all have to be in the S tier, to be totally honest. Alex Sarr, he has to be S tier too, right? He's the best pink diamond big man, probably, besides Wemby. I don't know. Maybe I'm just gassing it too much. And like, these guys should be A tier and I should move down the B tier and stuff. Because like, Sarr is not on Wemby's level, but he's really, really good. All these shooting guards feel very close. I think I'm just going to have a big S tier. That's how it's going to be. Sarr is a very good card. He's S tier material. Money jump shot, does a lot of things really well. Embiid, honestly, is not a bad card either. He's still got a fine jump shot. He's still good defensively. He's still a good finisher. He's still a good popper. I think he and Sarr are actually pretty similar level. You know what? I am going to move him down. I think I'm going to move both those guys down. I think they're both going to be A tier. I think that is fair because I think that's a good spot for them. And Akeem, kind of same story. I'll go A tier with him as well. I think he's probably the best of the three between himself, Embiid, and Sarr. If any of them are S tier, it's him. Maybe he'll get moved up, but very nice jump shot. I mean, I actually like Akeem's jumper a lot this year. And I think defensively, he's the best of the group. He's got 87 speed. He's a really good card for sure. Bull, I'm going B tier actually. I just don't think he's that strong. He's honestly, what, 6 foot? I mean, he's huge. He's 7'2", but I don't think he's like a god overall as a card. He doesn't have a money jump shot. He's not super fast. Like, he's just not a great card. I think B tier is probably fair for him. Lively, I'm going C. Good inside big, but low 3-ball hurts him with only a 73. And he's not extremely fast, like an 84 speed. I think it's fair to put him in the C tier. David Thompson has great shot creation ability. In fact, I would take him over Michael Cooper. I'm going to move Cooper down just because he doesn't have a ton when it comes to like fade and shot creation or anything like that. And I think Thompson deserves that A tier spot. Curry escape, money jump shot. I understand he's undersized, but his shot is really, really good. And he's elite level slasher and not bad defensively on the perimeter at all either. Pretty good card. I think he's A tier for sure. I'm going Odin in A tier as well. Just 7 foot big with a big player build who's awesome defensively and really good on the interior and can hit it wide open 3 with actually a decent 3-ball rating. Like, similar to a lot of the other guys that are in A tier in the pink diamond bigs. Very solid card. Feels like the right spot for him. I think Bob McAdoo is definitely better than Solinger as well. He's a guy who's honestly borderline S tier. Honestly, in fact, I almost want to put him in the S tier. I think I'm going to go A for right now still. Well, I think I'd rather have him than Strother. As good as Strother is, I don't think he's quite as good as the other guys. I'm going to go with this. And McAdoo is S tier, I think, because of the speed and the money jump shot and the 98 standing and driving dunk and the elite level defense. He's like Dwight with a great shot. It's basically what McAdoo is, and higher level three-point shooting ability. I think he's S tier. I think he's great. Cade Cunningham is better than Shea. I think he's the same level as Levine. When it comes to pink diamond point guards, he's right at the top of the list. Very not that much worse than his Opal. Same SIGs, good escapes, smooth the jump shot, like an 85 driving dunk, not a liability defensively. Like, pretty good card. I think S tier is totally fair. I'm going to put Big Z in the B tier. His speed kills him. He just does. His jumper's nice, but he's not extremely complete badge-wise, and the speed does hurt the card. I think B tier is probably the right spot for him. Morrison is really good. I'm going to go B tier for Morrison personally. I mean, Trey Fade's only good to one side. It is very good though. His jumper is definitely better this year and his movement's not bad. He's not an elite defender, but he's not bad. There are a few small forwards I like better though. I think I'd rather have Glenn Rice overall than Morrison. I think B tier is where I'm going to put him. Wemby is obviously S tier. He's the best pink diamond big in the game and still one of the very best bigs in the game, right? With his Opal and then obviously 100 overall KP. But Wemby is the best pink diamond big and one of the best pink diamond cards in my team. He is an S tier for sure. There's a reason he's expensive as he is. Terry Dishinger, I'm putting him A tier. Money jumper, great fade, good defensive stats, very athletic with a 95 driving dunk. A little bit undersized, small forward, but I think good enough still to be an A tier card. S tier for Kristaps Porzingis as well. He, in my opinion, is the second best pink diamond big after Wemby. Really good card in his own right. I think he's got to go S tier. Great popper, not bad defensively, great size. I think he's an awesome card. Connie Hawkins is actually an A tier small forward. This list is so slanted towards the top, but I don't know what to do about it, to be honest. I think it's just how it's going to be. Connie Hawkins he's got a great jumper. He's 6'9". He's a good defensive card. Like, there are so many good budget cards in the game. Doing a list like this just shows how many different options there are, because even these B tier cards are pretty good. Giannis is actually going B tier. As great as he is as a slasher defensively, he's not what his Dark Matter and Opal are by any means. The jumpers are normal. The three-pointers only like a 69, no hot spots. Like, he's just not a good shooter, and that matters. I love the card. Besides that, he's still B tier, but I wouldn't go higher than that. Dr. J gives us yet another S tier card. Honest truth is, Dr. J is better enough than all the other shooting guards that I almost want to put them all in A tier now. Who are the worst of the shooting guards? Artest and Paul George will be moved down. And then I'm going to move Shea to... No, Shea's A, because Caden... I don't know. This is tough. Strother feels like he's got to be at least A tier. David Thompson can be moved down to B tier. That's probably fair. Mikal Bridges, I'll go B tier with him as well, just to even it out a little bit. I think that's probably a reasonable thing to do. But I do think Dr. J is by far the best shooting guard in the game. Bilal is probably my second favorite. Him and Franz are the next best Pink Diamond shooting guards, but Dr. J is like a top 2 shooting guard in the game, period, out of all card tiers still. He's just an incredible card, and he's a S tier. Steph is an obvious D tier. He's only really on here because of the name. I think, honestly, he's not all that good at all. In fact, he's actually probably the worst card on this list, or at least one of the worst. Magic Johnson's going to go C tier. Don't love the card. Size-wise, he's great. That's really about it, though he's not close to his Dark Matter at all. Amen Thompson, awesome defensively, great slasher, and he's got a smooth jumper as well. He's just got a low 3-ball, but I do think he's good enough to be A tier. People love this card. I think I've been sleeping on him a little bit, and I think A tier is probably fair for him. Stephon Castle gives you that defensive ability at the point guard position that I think does actually get him to crack the S tier. He is 6'7" with great defensive versatility, a smooth jumper, nice slasher. The size is valuable. He's a really good card. Devin Booker, if you love to run and fade, he's probably still S tier. I'm going to go A tier with him still, just because at this point, I'd rather have a little bit more defense. He doesn't quite provide that for me, and he's also not a high-level finisher. I just think A tier personally is probably fair, but I don't mind if you want to put Booker in the S tier, and depending on your playstyle, he definitely could still be argued there. Kareem is not that much worse than his Galaxy Opal. I mean, honestly, his size and versatility to play the power forward position is really nice. He's not much of a shooter, but he's actually a pretty good card, and I think I've kind of slept on him a little bit as like a good, more budget option at this point, the center position. I think he's A tier. I almost forget about a lot of these cards, and I think he's good. I would rather have David Thompson, Michael Cooper, Mikal Bridges than Tracy McGrady. I think he's C tier. I know he's a huge name. His cards are just not very good this year. I think C tier, in all honesty. He's just not, he's a little outdated set and badge wise, and his jumper's not that great. His SIGs kind of suck. I don't love the card. KD, I'm going B tier. I don't think he's on the level of the guys like Glenn Rice, Terry Dishinger, players like that at the small forward position. I just don't love KD. I don't know. I think B tier is probably fair for him. He's not great badge wise either. MJ is going to go D tier. I know he's one of the best players of all time, but this card sucked. It just did. Not very good stat and badge wise. Not a great shooter. Bad jump shot. Like, just not cutting it. Kelly Tripucka, I was super high on when he first came out, but I got to say the lack of defense with him kind of hurts him. Curry Escape is awesome. His jumper is amazing, but he's kind of a one-sided card. He doesn't really have much in terms of ability to get to the rim. I think B tier is probably the right spot for him. LeBron is still S tier to this day. I mean, he's just, outside of Beasley, he's the best small forward at the Pink Diamond tier. And he's not that much worse than his Dark Matter. I mean, his jumper is amazing. His fade is top tier. His defense is elite. He's an incredible slasher. He's an incredible card. And then Tyrese Halliburton's going to go C tier as well. Not a complete, like, terrible, awful card, but I think C tier is the right spot for him as well. Just 6'5" with a mediocre jumper. The size is nice, but that's about it. I don't love the card by any means. I think he's C tier, and I think that finishes out this Pink Diamond list. A very top-heavy slanted list, so I apologize a little bit for that. Maybe I should have just included a few more cards intentionally, but I didn't want to put a lot of these guys in the low tiers because I think they're all pretty good cards. Like, even the B tiers, good cards. So there's a lot of good Pink Diamond budget cards in my team right now. This should give you all a good picture of guys to potentially target to pick up for your squad. And I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. And I appreciate y'all. Peace.